It is Owl Week, and I am so excited to share burrowing owls with you. These are the owls that are featured in Hoot, which is set in Florida. We have lots of owl resources, owl cams, lots of things to learn about these cute, fun little creatures. All right, the scientific name for the burrowing owl is Athene canicularia. Athene refers to the Greek goddess of wisdom, whose favorite bird was an owl. The Latin word canicularia means a miner or burrower. Thus, its scientific name could be translated as wise burrower. The burrowing owl is about 7.5 to 10 inches tall with a wingspan of 21 to 24 inches, and it weighs 4.5 to 9 ounces. Unlike most owls, the male bird is slightly heavier and has a longer wingspan than the females. So with a lot of owl species, the female is actually a little bit larger than the male, but the burrowing owl, the male, is the larger one. They have white eyebrows. So if you look over here at this picture, you can see the very thin white eyebrow line. They have a chin patch under their chin that will kind of flex and bob in and out when they are agitated. They have super short tails. They have no ear tufts. They have yellow eyes and a yellow beak. They tend to be like a light brown, almost deer color, with white spots. And I'll show you in a little bit, when they're young, they're a lighter color. And then they have gray, long legs because they spend a lot of time on the ground. These are the juvenile owls. So this is a parent owl right here. This is a juvenile owl. Look how cute. See its little fluffy feathers right here on the side? Its real feathers are coming in, or its adult feathers, I should say. They're all real feathers. And so they have what's called a buff color, and as they get older, they turn more brown with the white spots. They spend most of their time on the ground or on low perches such as fence posts. They hunt close to the ground. They like insects, small animals, frogs. They will eat small like mice, rodents, that sort of thing. They live in single pairs or in loose colonies. So they take quite a bit of room. They do not like to be tacked in close with neighbors. So if you think about the size of a football field, there's usually one burrow per like football field size area of land. During the day, you can usually see them standing at the mouth of a burrow. Usually somebody's down if there's babies with the babies, and somebody's standing at the mouth of the burrow guarding. When disturbed, the owl bobs in agitation and utters a chattering or a clucking call. In flight, they typically undulate as if they are flying an invisible obstacle course. So they don't tend to fly super straight. They look like they're flying in an obstacle course. They can also hover in midair, being able to capture food. They're diurnal, which means they don't sleep all day and they don't sleep all night. They are active day and night. Different from other owls are mostly nocturnal, which means they're awake at night. They are both. All right, here's where they live. Okay. We do not have any burrowing owls in Ohio, which is right here where my mouse is. We have them in South America year-round. They migrate north for breeding in the summer. And then again, there's some in like the Mexico region and the southern portion of the North American continent. And then we actually have a bunch. Our highest population is here in Florida, which is again where the book was set. Their burrows are pretty cool. I am going to show you a link to the San Diego Zoo. They have burrowing owls, so you can see what they look like and how they act in their burrows. So it says they often nest in loose colonies about 100 yards apart. That's about a football field. Burrowing owls form a monogamous pair bond. So that means one female, one male, and they stick together. They usually take other burrows that have already been dug by like ground squirrels or fox dens. They are capable of digging their own burrow though if they can't find one that has been abandoned. Something gross but cool. They love dung beetles. Love, love, love them. It's one of their favorite foods. And so they will actually line the outside of their burrow, kind of right here, with animal dung, and it attracts the dung beetles, and then it literally brings the meal right to their door. They are very tidy birds, so they will scratch and clean out their burrow. You will actually see them turn around, so you'll see their tail, and they will kick the dirt out of their burrow, the excess dirt. And then their burrows go 4 to 8 feet underground, and they use things like grass clippings, feathers, paper, and manure to line their burrows. They mate in early spring. They usually have up to a dozen eggs. They have to sit on them for about a month. It takes them 4 to 6 weeks to be able to fly. Most of the eggs will hatch, and this is pretty sad. They are pretty vulnerable when they're young, and so only about half of them will survive. You can see here, they always look terrified when they are on video. It's really cool. One of their adaptations is mimicry. And so they will hiss like a snake. They sound like a rattlesnake when something is coming into the burrow because it will scare some other predators away because they sound different than they truly are. So these guys are just banded, so they're not hurt, but they're banded so they can be tracked by scientists. When they're about a year old, they move out and they pair up and they start having babies of their own. And then here's the note about them sounding like a rattlesnake. They usually have one brood per year, one set of chicks per year. The Florida burrowing owls sometimes have two. The Florida burrowing owls are having issues with iguanas. Iguanas have been eating their eggs and taking over their burrows. And so Florida's actually having some owl issues at the moment. They are a protected bird. One of the things, as you're going to read in Hoot, they were having issues with their habitats being taken. And so they went into an endangered status. I'm looking here. In Florida, they are considered threatened, so not quite endangered. They're doing okay, but they are a protected bird. They can live for up to 9 years in the wild and over 10 years in captivity. Just because of them being wild, they generally tend to live more like 4 or 5. But if they're a lucky bird, up to 9 years. They are often killed by vehicles when crossing the roads, and they have a lot of natural enemies. Badgers, coyotes, snakes, and then domestic cats and dogs, which are pets. So they have lots of things to look out for when they are in the wild. You can Google listen to a burrowing owl. I can't get this link to work while I am recording, but I am going to show you one thing here. I went to google.com, San Diego Zoo burrowing owls. And then the very first link that says CDZ Safari Park, they have a burrowing owl cam. So you can actually see their burrowing owls live, which is pretty cool. So you can see it's perched up here on this rock. Their burrows under here and turning their head side to side. And then you can actually see in the burrow, I think there's a mama bird sitting on eggs. So these are really fun, really cool to look at. If you Google, there are some other ones in Florida that you are able to see. All right, so we will learn all about owls this week. I'm excited to share all of this with you. See you later.